The following week was a different kind of torture. It wasn't physical pain, it was the torture of awkwardness. Elara had decided that neglecting her duties was unacceptable, so she began a campaign of forced proximity. Every morning we ate breakfast together. Every evening we ate dinner together. We sat in the great dining hall, separated by 5 meters of polished mahogany. "The weather is mild," she would say, staring at her plate. "Yes," I would reply, "mathematically average." Silence. Then I would try again. "Lady Everhart, about the separation, pass the salt, Lord Valerian," she would interrupt, her tone brooking no argument. She refused to use my first name again. It was always Lord Valerian, spoken with a formal stiffness that felt like a wall. She thought she was being a good wife. In reality, she was being a warden. I tried to avoid her, but she was everywhere. If I went to the library, she was there reading. If I went to the gardens, she was there inspecting the roses. It was a siege, and unlike Garmin, I couldn't threaten her with blackmail. Then, on the 4th day, the stalemate broke. A horn sounded at the gate. Not a carriage this time, but a single rider wearing the gold and crimson colors of the royal family. Sebastian entered the drawing room, where Elara and I were sitting in painful silence. He held a scroll sealed with the royal crest. "A message from the palace, my lady, from His Highness, Prince Valerius." I saw Elara's eyes narrow. She didn't look happy. She looked annoyed. I, on the other hand, felt a spark of hope. I knew about Prince Valerius. He was the crown prince. Handsome, magically gifted, arrogant, and notoriously obsessed with Elara. He had courted her for years before her grandfather forced her to marry me. Target acquired, I thought. The perfect replacement. Elara broke the seal and read the invitation. "It is the winter solstice ball," she said flatly. "The prince requests my presence." "You should go," I said immediately, perhaps a little too enthusiastically. "It's a royal command. You cannot refuse. The prince, he is a man of great status. You have much in common." Elara looked at me, her violet eyes piercing. "You seem eager to send me into the arms of the royal court, Lord Valerian." "I am simply thinking of your social standing," I lied smoothly. "You have been away for months. You need to reconnect with your peers. The prince will surely want to discuss magic and politics alone." I leaned back, feeling satisfied. If the prince seduced her at the ball, maybe she would realize that staying married to a trash noble was a waste of her time. She would come back and demand the divorce herself. It was the perfect strategy. Elara stood up. She tapped the invitation against her hand, thinking. "You are right. I cannot refuse the crown prince. It would be a political error." "Excellent," I said, standing up to leave. "I will tell Sebastian to prepare your carriage for 1. 2, she corrected. I froze. "Excuse me?" "Prepare the carriage for 2, Elara said, her voice leaving no room for debate. "We are married, Lord Valerian. If I attend the royal ball alone, the rumors of our estrangement will damage my family's reputation. The prince will think I am vulnerable." She turned to face me, a cruel, beautiful smile touching her lips. "You are coming with me. We will enter the ballroom arm in arm. We will dance, and you will play the part of the devoted husband." My blood ran cold. The royal ball, a pit of vipers. Every noble who hated me would be there. The prince who wanted my wife would be there. "Lady Everhart, I do not have suitable clothes. I hate parties. You are the architect, aren't you?" she cut in, looking at the renovations I had done to the room. "You rebuilt this estate. Surely you can survive one evening of champagne and music." She tossed the invitation onto the table. "Be ready by sunset on Friday, and try not to smell like wine." She swept out of the room. I sank back into my chair, putting my head in my hands. Plan B had backfired. I wasn't sending her to the wolves. I was walking into the den with her.
The royal palace wasn't a building. It was a statement. Towers of white crystal pierced the night sky, illuminated by thousands of floating magical lights. It was beautiful. It was majestic. And I wanted to be anywhere else. Inside the carriage, Elara adjusted her gloves. She wore a gown of deep midnight blue, embroidered with silver constellations that moved slowly across the fabric. She looked like the night sky incarnate, cold, distant, and breathtaking. I sat opposite her in my black suit. I had groomed myself to perfection. Hair slicked back, jawline sharp. I looked the part of a noble lord, but I felt like an imposter walking to the gallows. "Remember," Elara said, her voice cutting through the silence, "we are a united front. Do not slouch, do not drink, and do not speak unless spoken to." "You make me sound like a pet," I muttered, looking out the window. "Pets are obedient. You are unpredictable." The carriage stopped. The footman opened the door. We stepped out onto the red carpet leading up the grand staircase. The air was freezing, but the heat of 1,000 gazes hit me instantly. Nobles lined the stairs, dukes, duchesses, high mages. As soon as they saw Elara, a ripple of whispers began. Admiration, envy, respect. Then their eyes drifted to me. The atmosphere shifted instantly. The admiration turned to sneers. The respect turned to disgust. I heard the whispers clearly, amplified by my heightened senses. "He came? The trash baron? I thought he died of liver failure. Look at him clinging to her like a parasite. Disgraceful." I kept my face impassive. In my old life, insults hurt. In this life, they were just data. These people didn't know I had a gun on my hip beneath my coat. They didn't know I held the secrets of half the people in this line. We reached the top of the stairs. The herald banged his staff on the floor. "Presenting," his voice boomed across the vast ballroom, "the hero of the northern border, Lady Elara Everhart." Applause thundered, genuine, loud applause. "And her husband," the herald added, his voice dropping an octave, almost rushing the words, "Lord Aric Valorian." The applause died instantly. It was replaced by a polite, scattered clapping that sounded more like rain on a tin roof. We walked into the ballroom. It was a sea of color and magic. The ceiling was an illusion of the open sky. I tried to pull my arm away gently. This was the plan, after all. I needed to separate from her so the prince could make his move. "Lady Everhart," I whispered, "I see the buffet. I will go get us some drinks. You should mingle." I took a step to the side. Ilara's hand clamped onto my forearm. Her grip was iron. She didn't use magic. She used pure physical force reinforced by mana. It hurt. "You are going nowhere," she hissed through a perfect smile, waving at a duchess. "You stay." "But the prince—" "Smile, Aric," she commanded. She pulled me closer. To the room it looked like a romantic gesture, a wife holding her husband close. To me, it felt like being handcuffed to a statue. We walked through the crowd. It was the walk of shame inverted. Every man in the room looked at Elara with desire, and then looked at me with hatred. I was the man who had stolen the prize. I was the obstacle. I saw the prince across the room. Prince Valerius. He was surrounded by sycophants, holding a glass of golden wine. He was tall, blond, and radiated a golden aura of royalty. When he saw Elara, his face lit up. He took a step forward. Then he saw me. His expression curdled. It was a look of pure, unadulterated loathing. Good, I thought. Hate me. Hate me enough to steal her. He's looking at you, I whispered to Elara. Go to him. Quiet, she snapped. She steered me toward the edge of the dance floor, using me as a human shield against the other suitors. I was trapped. I was in the most dangerous room in the kingdom, surrounded by enemies, chained to a woman who wouldn't let me go, and trying to orchestrate my own cuckolding. The architect had built many complex systems, but this social web, this was a nightmare I hadn't calculated.